This week on the internet, it's a series where we're talking about all the topics of during the week. And first up, we have Half-Life 3 being leaked. And even though it's hard to believe, it does seem to be actually real. And at least the leaked material is real. We don't know if it's Half-Life 3 exactly, but it probably is. So, a YouTuber named Tyler McVicker put out a video showing all the code that they data mined from Source 2. And in that code, there's a lot of references to things related to Half-Life. Like, for example, a guy who wears an HEV suit and goes off-world and encounters storks, pentatanks, feral manhags, Zen gorillas, Zen jellyfish, and Zen swoopers. And Zen is a dimension in Half-Life. And this would also be a non-VR title, so that also points to Half-Life 3. And on top of that, ever since Half-Life Alyx has come out, the Half-Life development team has basically been doing nothing, at least that we know of. So them working on this in the background for 3 to 4 years kind of lines up. So there is a very solid chance that it's actually Half-Life 3. Now, personally, I am still a bit skeptical because Valve does not count to 3. They have stopped at number 2 for every game they have ever made. So I am skeptical if it's actually going to be released, but we shall see. Personally, I think the source code is pretty convincing because for a while, this source code was thought to belong to Deadlock, which we know is a thing that exists now. And Deadlock does not have any reference to Half-Life in it at all. Deadlock is very much its own thing, so this code definitely does not belong to Deadlock, especially since that's in playtesting right now, so people would know if it was related to Deadlock. There is also a chance, though, this is a completely different game, or just a different Half-Life game and not Half-Life 3, because even if it is the third Half-Life game, I doubt they would call it Half-Life 3, or at least I'd be skeptical of it. But whatever it is that they're working on, we should know about it kind of soon because it's been in development for 3 to 4 years. And if it's going to get playtesting, we'll definitely know about it soon. And as long as they're planning on actually releasing it, we should know what it is pretty soon. 3 to 4 years is like the early development, and they're going to probably announce it pretty soon if it's going to actually come out. We'll just have to wait and see. And next up, Rockstar is reportedly making modding tools for GTA Online. Now, I think this would be really cool, but basically someone found some files buried deep in GTA code, and it points to them making a public mission creator, which I think would be pretty cool. This would basically let people mod the game and make missions however they want, which I think would be pretty sick. And on top of that, it keep the game alive forever because the community will keep it alive by modding it all the time. So this is not only good for players, this is genius on Rockstar's part because they get to rake in shark card money without actually developing the game anymore. This makes total sense for them. And currently, the estimate for this being released is in early fall. So we'll know for sure if it's real or not by then, but I would assume it's probably real because why would they not do this? Like, it literally just makes total sense. They get free online support forever, and the GTA community would really like having this, and they would definitely use it. So we'll see what happens with it. Also, please hit the like button down below and subscribe if you're new. I'm trying to hit 500K, please and thank you. And next up, Reddit is going to start introducing paywalls for subreddit. Now, this isn't guaranteed to happen yet. The CEO had just talking about making paywalled subreddits, and honestly, I think it's a good idea. I have not seen many reasons to say this is a bad idea, and I think they should have did this before they did all the other things they did, like, you know, charging for the API. I think this would have been a better move and more well-received because, first of all, this apparently won't be able to be done retroactively, so r/whatever can't go in and make their stuff paywalled after the fact, which would be the best way to do this in my opinion. Because my first thought when I saw this was, okay, what is stopping from all the big communities from just paywalling themselves and getting a bunch of money? What is stopping that from happening? But it seems like that won't be able to happen, which is good because that was a concern I had. But besides that, I don't really see a big issue with this, honestly. This could easily be like a sub-only Discord for streamers or a Patreon-only Discord for, you know, Patreon, but a subreddit. Honestly, this is a pretty good idea. I'm surprised they didn't do it earlier, if I'm being honest. And assuming Reddit doesn't take some insane cut of whatever the subreddit charges, I think it's a totally fine thing. I really can't see many issues with it, assuming that, you know, the cut's fair. If the cut's like 40-60, that might be a problem in my opinion. Or if it's like 80-20, I think that might be okay. But like anything lower than 70-30, I think is not okay. And majority of that going to the subreddit owner, obviously. But yeah, I think this is a good idea, and this might give Discord and Patreon some competition. So I don't really see an issue with it. And next up, YouTube updated their plaques, and I hate them. They suck now. I mean, I didn't like the last shift, and I still prefer the first ones, but you know, I really don't like the new ones. They're just like a weirdly shaped play button that's either silver or gold, and I just don't like it. It's a downgrade. I know why they're switching it. It is easier to manufacture the smaller one, but still, I don't prefer it. I really do prefer the first version. I think it's the best one. And I've also seen some people say they cost $225 now, which I don't think is true. I think you only get charged that amount if you have to replace one. So if you lose it, damage it, or break it, or whatever, you can get a replacement from YouTube. It just costs you money. And I think that's what people are noticing when they go to, like, you know, fill this out. I don't think this costs money if your channel just hit 100K. I think it only is if you need a replacement. Just so we're all on the same page, but it still does suck. The old ones are better. And next up, YouTube is adding a community notes feature a lot like Twitter. Now, I think this is a good idea. Assuming it works like Twitter, at least once it's mature, I think this is a good idea. Twitter has a pretty good community note system where there's a lot of different people, you know, in the community note system, validating an answer and upvoting it or downvoting it and basically saying what's wrong with it. It's an overall pretty good good system, and generally speaking, the community notes are usually right, so I think this is a very good idea. YouTube system will start out with using third-party reviewers employed by YouTube, so it should be more accurate, at least for the first little bit, and then eventually I think they plan on making it all crowdsourced, which is what they should be doing, because yeah, YouTube cannot hire people to manually check these things. There are too many videos uploaded to the platform, so having it work like Wikipedia is a good idea. People who are in the community notes program can come in, edit the community note if they need to, and then people in the community notes program can upload the community note, or download it, or edit it, or whatever. I think this is overall a pretty good idea. And next up, we have YouTube showing likes and comments instead of views. Now, I am way more skeptical of this one. I don't really understand the point of this, and I'm sure YouTube doesn't either. I think they're just trying things, because yeah, I thought about this after I saw this, and I was thinking, hey, would I change my mind on a video if it had likes over views as the listed thing? And I honestly don't know. I don't think I would. I mean, personally, as a YouTuber, I look more to the view to like ratio anyways, over just one or the other. So yeah, I don't really get the point of this. I don't really know how it's gonna change anything. I mean, I guess we'll see. YouTube does these kind of tests all the time where they just A/B something and see what happens. So maybe this will have a boost in views for people. I really don't know. If this is to stop people from judging videos though with low views, I think this might help with that, because that is definitely a thing people do. Once you have a certain view count, it is a lot easier to get views because you're kind of like quality checked, if that makes sense. Like a viewer knows you're not totally trash because you get some views, right? If you get no views though, it's a massive gamble and you usually lose that gamble. I could also see this backfiring and promoting bot usage, because botting views is kind of hard. Botting likes, I think, is kind of easy. So if YouTube starts showing likes instead of views, people might just start botting a bunch of likes. This could end very poorly. We'll see what happens though. If they implement it in any way further down the line, they're gonna release statistics about it and say it worked or didn't work. So we'll know more then. And next up, IShowSpeed got banned for jumping over a Lamborghini. Now this is not surprising at all. YouTube does this. If you encourage people to do stupid things like jumping over a moving vehicle, YouTube is gonna flag you because they think that kids are really, really stupid and will try this at home. And they might. So I kind of get it, but he was temporarily banned for jumping over the car. He should be unbanned very soon at this point if he's not already. But yeah, YouTube does that. It kind of sucks, but it's whatever. He'll be unbanned for sure. It was his first ban. And next up, we have ChatGPT 4.0 randomly cloning somebody's voice as they were talking to it. Now, this is really weird. So one of the safety testers was just testing the AI, and then suddenly, in a noisy environment, it mimics the tester's voice for no reason. And this is really creepy. Here's a clip of it happening.
Do this just for the sake of doing it. I think it's really important.
That's such a pure and admirable approach.
No.
The AI model was the one screaming no, by the way, which is even weirder. Yeah, I'm not a fan of AIs mimicking people's voices to begin with, especially not at random for seemingly no reason. This is really weird. Now, I don't think this thing is sentient or something. I think it's a bunch of spaghetti code and it's malfunctioning, but it's still really weird and I don't like it. And I don't think this model should be released to the public if it's gonna randomly clone people's voices, because that means it's taking in all the data all the time. Like, I don't think OpenAI should have the ability to mimic anyone's voice from across the world, okay? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. And I'm just not a fan of it doing this. It's weird. Fan the weekly recap. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at spatnz1 and click the Instagram down to check out more of my content and have a good one.